let's play a few clips from our interaction last night.
Okay.
You guys, and then we'll call him back. Okay, so I don't know what these are. So if they're not good, maybe we'll move on. So these are clips from us last night with GMS Arizona. So let's react to some of these because this was actually us. We were out there.
When you say that, you make him a creature. But he says, before Abraham was, I am. He says, Father, with the glory that I received in John 17, before. You see what I'm saying? He's prior to all that. And then John says, nothing that was made without him, meaning he made all things. Colossians 1, what's it say? It says he's the head, he holds us all together. He made everything. So we put those together. It's not just who can be in the elect. It's also, we define elect differently as well. You think it's the 1/3. It's also how that happens. And you believe, honestly, it's just by your birth. And here's the thing, John 1 says it's not by birth, because it's not by human will or blood. It literally says that, right? And on the live stream of the day, Tahar, he was saying, in answer to the question I was asking another guy, he said, yes, Vocab, Judas is a saint. And that's where we say, bro, y'all are wilding out. I mean in the doctrine. That's what I'm saying by wild. I'm saying that doctrine is wild out to where you could literally say the one who betrayed Jesus, whom he said it'd be better if that man was never born, right? That man's a saint. That means he's one of the elect. He's set apart. Because that's really what it means. Saint means one who's set apart. It comes from hagios in Greek. So that's some of the differences. So we do not believe, because our view is God only elects some to salvation. Right. We're not like probably some of the other maybe Christians we only believe the elect are saved, and that's only who will be saved, and God chooses. We actually agree on that.
But then I follow up with, but it's salvation by grace, not salvation by race. Because we were all Reformed Calvinists there. That's why I could say that to him. Mm-hmm. But that was a pretty good clip. Notice how long he was letting us speak.
Yeah, I was surprised. Mm-hmm. That was probably one of the rare moments when they did that. Yeah, and I can't remember why at that point he might have been, willing to allow that.
Yeah, I mean, so they weren't really talking necessarily about Christology, but I was trying to shoehorn it into the conversation, for lack of a better word. That's what I thought it was important to talk about, the deity of Christ.
Yeah.
And also the nature of salvation as it relates. So that's the group we were talking to last night. Go ahead.
So it's interesting. They didn't object, but at the same time, it didn't seem to really create in them any real interest. The one guy goes off and just kind of does something over there in the corner, right? I just find it interesting, the lack of interest in Christ.
Right. No, I agree. It's like they don't want to object to that or have a discussion about that, but they want to talk about all this other stuff. Nate asks an interesting question. Did that guy go to the corner to call Tahar? Now, let's say he did. Shout out to GMS.
I think he was just getting some of the spices ready.
Some of the spices. Yeah, but he was
not ready to cook.
But he was on the phone.
They got their they got their aprons on. They're about ready to cook up a dish.
He was on the phone, see. He was on the phone there.
Okay.
So
maybe he's ordering out.
It was interesting, well, why if that's the case, why would he, he's not going to cook, but so, that was, that's an interesting question there. House of Hickman says, Anthony Rogers called me a loser on my last
Oh yeah. Okay. So I know who it is. We were being facetious.
Yes. I imagine so.
That's
all right. So there's one. Let's play the next clip here. From last night.
Fuck him, right?
Wait, what's that?
How you gonna cut this brother off from reading the book of the Lord,
You're
man?
using it as a
Get the hell out of here, man.
Say that again?
Go ahead, Which I told you.
So wait, so stop it.
So it sounded like the clip started with F them.
Yeah. So what I wanted him to do every time so they were recording, right? I was letting them record it. I didn't need to record everything. But at one point, he was so mad at me that I said, if you could crucify me, you would, wouldn't you? And he says, yes, I would. Absolutely, right? So I said, okay, now let me turn, say it on camera. And he instead of repeating it, he does say at some point, though, that they want to, they're going to kill us and all that eventually, right? In the future.
So here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. In the beginning, I was speaking to them and it went like that. And then I left for a second. And this is what happened, Anthony. I'm just kidding.
What's that?
You gonna cut this brother off from reading the book of the Lord, man?
He's mad. Watch his
Get
voice
the hell
crack.
out of here, man.
Can you say that again?
Go ahead,
Which I told you before. Then thou shalt understand.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Why you guys hate Jesus?
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Give me the answer to that question.
Vocab, when he was up here, he was respectful. He let the scriptures come out. His goons won't let you do it, man.
You ran from the
We
Bible.
didn't have to run from
You
nothing.
don't like Jesus.
We already
You don't
read
like
it.
the
We got
Bible.
Matthews 1:21.
John 8:24.
We got
Unless you
Matthew
believe that
6.
I'm
You're
God.
using this brother as
We
a
got
scapegoat,
Exodus 3 and
so
2.
you don't have to answer.
We already answered.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Hey, brothers, did I answer?
No.
That's the only
all I
answer I
need.
need. Go ahead.
So let me,
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all.
so let me explain this. These guys didn't even understand the question that we were trying to talk about here. This is the Matthew 1:21 discussion. I was asking them, what is this verse telling us about Jesus? Right? Matthew 1:21 again says, you shall name him Jesus for, right? He's given the reason.
Yeah.
This is why you're to name him Jesus. That means Jehovah saves or Yahweh saves, because he will save his people from their sins. So it's identifying him as Yahweh. They thought they were answering my question by going off on what it means to refer to people as his people, right? So they're trying to prove that they're Israelites and all the rest. And I kept trying to tell them that's not what I'm asking you. And so they're going to Exodus 3:10. They're going, one passage after another. And that's why he gets upset, because I'm telling him you're not addressing my question.
Well, I can't leave you guys alone anymore.
That was
I
good
don't
for
need
him.
y'all answers. Y'all bunch of damn Edomites. Y'all going into captivity under these men you see up here, man.
Right.
Y'all going into captivity under these men you see up here.
This man told me.
Edomites,
This man
Moabites,
told me he would
Ammonites,
crucify
Ishmaelites,
me
and Hamites
if he could.
are going into captivity.
This man said he'd
right.
crucify me if he could.
Go ahead, man.
Then thou shalt understand that it is
Hey,
the
that's
very
what's gonna
same-
happen. Let me get Revelations 19.
did
Let me
he
get
say-
Revelations
Did you
13,
say you
9,
would
and 10,
crucify me if you
Let me get
could?
1 John
Well,
5:20.
let me get the scriptures, man.
The Son of God is
Let me
the
get
true God
Revelations
and eternal
13, 9, and
life.
10. Let me get Isaiah 14. Let me get
I saw Eddie made a quick cameo there. Now on to the next clip. Wow. So I see what happened when I left. My
Book of
goodness.
Revelation,
Read that loud, all right?
13 and 9.
Revelation.
Right?
If any man have an ear, let
Let
him
him hear, right?
He that leadeth
into
into
captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the faith and the faith of the saints.
So you guys are going to kill us,
That's right.
right?
Isaiah 14, man.
That is
No.
a
When the
condemnation
Lord
of your
comes back,
attitude.
when the Lord
You're the
comes
one
back,
that wants to kill
hold up.
unjust.
So Lewis is making a good point there, right? He's saying the verse is talking about, well, in Revelation at one point it says, he who kills by the sword will die by the sword. It's saying, you'll live and die. You'll die the way you live. And they're saying they want to kill people. So if that verse that they're citing is applied, right, then it speaks against them. They're going to die the way they intend to kill people.
And heaven's gonna.
Shout out to D New in the house. What's up, D New? All right, let me see what this clip is.
Good bill, brothers. Show's over.
I'm trying to see what the next good clip is. What? That's not a
What did I
very.
do? What?
It's not a very.
So we just got done talking.
Okay, so let me play. Let me play this next clip here of them as well. This is at the very end when they were winding down. They did.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
where they did the chants in Lashawan Kodash.
Yeah.
And can you describe Lewis?
Yes, sir.
So everyone, Lewis is off camera, but you can hear his voice. Can you describe, brother, the way the setup was with GMS Arizona before I play this? Because people will have context that way. Could you describe it real quick so people understand?
They were set up with a chart that was facing the passerbys with the different tribes outlined, the 12 tribes. And they had one man that was facing them, the speakers, and basically it was just an invitation to either listen to them or engage them. But once you engage them, if they don't like what they hear, they'll cut you off.
And so that's on our corner. What about the other two corners of First Street and Van Buren?
I didn't make it to the other two corners. That's when Anthony waited for you to.
So are you asking him to explain how they were 3 groups at one point and then
Yeah.
they all joined?
Right.
Yeah, they all joined. So there were around 25 people by the time we were ending.
Yeah.
Actually, there were 25 people for at least the last half an hour.
Yeah. And so they were on 3 different corners of downtown Phoenix, and at the end they merged together to do this.
What's good, Bill, brothers?
They could have been cheerleaders.
So what are they doing right here, Anthony, that you thought was interesting?
They're cheering on their team.
No, but right after that.
Just kidding. They're taking off
They're
their
removing their.
because I guess they're not going to cook anymore. Or
Well, it's interesting because it's like right as soon as everything is over, they immediately remove what they call their garments.
mm-hmm.
So it's almost like if you played a
clocking
game.
out.
Yeah, it's like if you played let's say you played a game of basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and then right when it's done, you take off your jersey.
Yeah. It's interesting to me though that I don't understand why there's no uniformity in terms of the apron type thing.
So they believe you would have priestly garments, prophetic garments, but they don't believe you need to have a uniform. They would say the prophets of old didn't have a uniform.
But when I say uniform, by uniform I mean consistency, right?
As long as it has fringes on the bottom and a border of blue,
mm-hmm.
I think that's really the key element. So this is a way to know. So even though it's not a uniform look, this style where it's not uniform, but yet there's a basic
mm-hmm.
element to it, which is you can kind of see the way it's structured, along on one side and then in the middle. That's a GMS camp or a GMS inspired camp. So this is Arizona GMS.
So why does their language, their pretend language, seem to have only one vowel in it? Or
they believe that the vowels were introduced later.
Well, the vowel pointings, you could talk about the nikud being added later, but not the vowel.
That is what they say. They say they're speaking the Paleo-Hebrew, which would only be essentially, usually in most cases, the ah sound. But there's exceptions like Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, and then I heard Bashem, that kind of thing. So they, at times, because the one problem that'd be created is you wouldn't know how to distinguish some words. If you're constantly just using the A sound, certain words are just going to sound the same when they're different words.
Yeah, so
too much of that is just too ambiguous.
Yeah, that's Lashawan Kodash though. Mm-hmm. That's the language invented there in 1969 or so in Harlem, and that's it.
That's right. It was a good bill, brothers.
So I actually did think it was a good bill. I wasn't just saying that because we had a lot of good parts of the conversation, which I did appreciate. Now here's the last clip. This is you and I talking about it, and then we're going to end the show. Here's us talking about it. So we just got done talking to GMS, the Hebrew Israelites here, downtown Phoenix, and they are huge now. How many dudes were there total, Anthony, you think?
Well, first they were split up into 3 camps, I think. And then when we were talking to one, they all started grouping together. So, I don't know, what do you think, 30?
So, close to it. I'm going to say 25, but yeah.
Yeah.
So they've definitely grown since 2011 when I first dealt with them. And what's your takeaways here?
I thought it was great. I thought you had a good camaraderie with them. I think even though they had to say that they don't like you in some sense, they also showed a good bit of evidence, I think, that they kind of appreciate you in some ways. Yeah. Right? Kind of.
Did you feel kind of underappreciated though, brother?
Oh, when you weren't here, that man, his demeanor changed.
Really?
And his voice was cracking. He was very upset.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I like that. I'm good with that. But I thought it was great that he was willing to talk with you on a different level, so I just said what it was.
So, there we are. Sorry about the car horn there in the back of my
That wasn't me setting that car alarm off.
Yeah. And so that is today's program where we react to clips put out by Hebrew Israelites. And the last ones are where we were downtown Phoenix together, of course, talking to them just last night. And so final comments Anthony Rogers.
I don't know. Good show. Good show.
Well, I thank you for joining. Tell people about where to follow you online, my friend.
My YouTube channel is just under my name, Anthony Rogers. And here I am with I'm sitting over here. You're gonna show. I knew you were gonna do it.
That's Anthony hanging out with Adrian, and
Adrian loves me.
You got Adrian. It makes sense because he does kind of look like a crusty Rocky Balboa. Right now.
I look like Rocky Balboa after he got beat up by Dolph Lundgren or Apollo Creed.
You're talking about
or Mr. T, I guess better. Mr. T took him out the first time, so.
And then we got Lewis over there in the corner. Final words, final thoughts, my friend.
Well, that was my third interaction with them, but it's very brief. I usually just stand in the sidelines and watch you do your thing. And it's interesting learning more about them and getting to understand their belief system, its origins, its history. And now I can start developing a biblical rebuttal to what they believe, which is good.
You did run into some of them out there when you're doing street witnessing, right?
A long time ago. I would say it would have to have been at least 16, 17 years ago. I did. Didn't engage them much, just briefly. But yeah, I recall meeting them and talking to them.
Edward Dalcour's telling me and Lewis, come home.
He's lonely. Poor
Eddie, bro, you never hit us up. And you and I are supposed to do a video together. What's up, man?
He finally popped back on the radar.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Whatever, man. All right, well, let's close the show out. I appreciate you guys very much. I think we had a great show, and that's the end of this for the Block Edition. We're Reactor Clips, and check this out. Check us out again soon. And listen, if you're believing this ministry, this is kind of a different thing. We play clips, and hopefully it's entertaining, but also engaging and educational, and it'll help you in your apologetic and evangelistic ventures. If you believe in this ministry, please patreon.com/vocab. We need 2 more people to reach our goal of 100 we've been striving for. We were almost there, and then lost a couple, so now we're 2 more away. So we'll get there. All right, guys. God bless. Have a good